All right, it's Dr. William here with part 7 of our 10-part Kickstart series. And I want to talk about inflammation without injury. So this is a silent saboteur of our vitality. So in this module, we're going to talk about how hidden inflammation may be draining your energy, your clarity, and your resilience, and then what you can do about it. So imagine waking up tired, achy, and foggy. And even though you haven't injured yourself, caught a virus, or done anything wrong, your body just feels like it's fighting a battle that you can't even see. That's the invisible battle that is chronic inflammation, a silent saboteur draining your energy, your clarity, and your resilience. So unlike the swelling you see after a sprained ankle, chronic inflammation, it hides beneath the surface. So there's two types of inflammation, acute and chronic. All right, so in acute inflammation, this is your body's natural defense system. When you cut your finger, immune cells rush in to heal. It's helpful, and this is temporary, but this is like the firefighters responding to an emergency. Now, in chronic inflammation, this is when the immune system, it stays switched on due to stress, toxins, or hidden infections. It's like a fire alarm that won't stop ringing, and it's damaging your tissues and it's draining your energy. So 3 out of 5 global deaths worldwide are linked to chronic inflammatory disease, according to the World Health Organization. About 50 million Americans live with some kind of autoimmune condition fueled by inflammation, and that's just in the United States alone. And about 60% of undiagnosed cases of even in healthy adults often show elevated inflammatory markers without obvious symptoms. All right. So basically, this means millions of people are living with silent fires going on inside their bodies, and this is often dismissed as just merely stress or normal aging. So what does the research tell us? Well, a groundbreaking study in Nature Medicine, which is a journal, found that chronic inflammation accelerates aging by damaging the mitochondria and shortening the telomeres. This is the protective caps on our DNA. And then another study published in the Journal of Clinical Investigation, it demonstrated that low-grade inflammation, it disrupts insulin signaling, leading to fatigue, brain fog, and metabolic dysfunction, even in people without diabetes. So these studies, they reveal why conventional testing often misses the root cause of unexplained fatigue and cognitive decline. Your body's a city under siege. So in an acute response, firefighters would rush to put out a blaze. It's necessary, it's focused, it's life-saving. They arrive, they do their job, they leave. Now imagine in a chronic state or chronic inflammation. Those same firefighters, they never leave. They're constantly spraying water, damaging the building, and exhausting resources. The result is that city doesn't thrive. It gets crushed slowly under a constant emergency response. So meet Carla. Now, Carla was a 42-year-old nurse who felt exhausted, achy, and foggy for months. Her conventional labs came back normal. Her doctor's verdict, you're just stressed, you need to relax more. But Carla knew something deeper was wrong. Her body wasn't just tired, it felt like it was fighting an invisible war every single day. So what did functional testing reveal? Well, one, showed that there was elevated CRP levels. So C-reactive protein, that's a key marker of inflammation. It was significantly elevated, and this indicated there was chronic immune activation going on that the standard labs had missed. Functional testing also revealed gut dysbiosis. So there was an imbalanced gut bacteria that were fueling constant immune activation, creating a feedback loop of inflammation going on throughout her body. And then she had undetected food sensitivities that were continuing to trigger this immune response with every meal, thus keeping her body in this constant state of alert. So with a targeted anti-inflammatory nutrition and gut repair protocol, Carla's energy returned within weeks. Her body wasn't lazy, it was just under siege. So can inflammation happen without pain? Absolutely. This is what makes chronic inflammation so insidious. Unlike acute inflammation, that announces itself with obvious swelling and pain. Chronic inflammation just operates in the background silently. It manifests as persistent fatigue, brain fog, mood changes, unexplained weight gain, or just this general sense that something is off. Your body is fighting, and it's invisible to conventional diagnostics. So what are some common questions? Isn't all inflammation bad? Well, no. Acute inflammation actually is essential for healing and survival. It's your immune system doing exactly what it should. Chronic inflammation is a problem. That's when the healing response never turns off. How do I know if I have it? Well, start looking for patterns. Number one, recurring fatigue that rest doesn't fix, unexplained aches, persistent brain fog, or stubborn weight gain. Now, functional medicine labs can often reveal these hidden inflammatory markers that conventional testing misses. So can young people have chronic inflammation? Absolutely. Age is no barrier. Things like poor diet, chronic stress, environmental toxins, and gut health issues all trigger inflammation at any age, even in otherwise healthy individuals. So what are the hidden signs that your body is inflamed? Well, persistent fatigue, waking up exhausted despite adequate sleep with energy that never fully returns throughout the day. Brain fog, having that difficulty concentrating, memory lapses, and that feeling of like trying to think through molasses. Unexplained aches, so joint stiffness or muscle soreness, especially without injury or overexertion. And then mood changes, so having that increased irritability, anxiety, or depression that seems to come from nowhere. And then stubborn weight that just won't budge despite diet and exercise efforts. And then digestive issues, things like bloating, irregular bowel movements, or food sensitivities that just seem to multiply. So how do you cool a fire? Well, what are some practical steps? Well, one, add omega-3 fatty acids. So eat salmon, sardines, walnuts, or flax seeds to help reduce inflammatory signaling pathways. These healthy fats are nature's fire extinguishers. Embrace the anti-inflammatory spices. So turmeric, ginger, and garlic, they all contain powerful compounds that naturally combat inflammation at the cellular level. Now, make sure you're prioritizing deep sleep. Poor sleep is going to raise inflammatory markers dramatically. Make sure you're getting 7 to 9 hours of quality rest to allow your body time to repair and reset. And then move gently. Things like walking, yoga, and Tai Chi all lower inflammation within the body. Gentle movement is therapeutic, not draining. So what's the anti-inflammatory plate look like? So every meal is an opportunity to cool or to calm inflammation. Create a plate that includes a clean protein like wild salmon, organic chicken, or lentils. Colorful vegetables, broccoli, peppers, leafy greens. Make sure you've got healthy fats on there like olive oil or avocado or nuts. And then make good use of the anti-inflammatory spices like turmeric or fresh ginger. Remember, you're not just feeding yourself, you're actively cooling that fire within. So today's challenge, add one anti-inflammatory meal each day. Make sure to choose ingredients from each category: clean protein, colorful vegetables, healthy fats, and healing spices. And notice how your body feels 30 minutes after eating, and then again 2 hours later. This simple act of awareness is going to begin to reconnect with your body's signals, and you're going to begin to learn your body's own language again. So here are some foods that will help fight that fire of inflammation. So fatty fish, berries, turmeric, leafy greens, olive oil, and nuts. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, here are foods that are going to feed the fire of inflammation, and these are things you want to avoid. So refined sugars, like your sodas, your candy, your pastries, these all spike the blood sugar and trigger inflammation throughout the body. Processed oils, vegetable oils high in omega-6 fatty acids create inflammatory imbalances when consumed in excess. And then ultra-processed foods. Foods with long ingredient lists full of additives, preservatives, and artificial ingredients all stress the immune system. Now, small changes matter. You don't need to be perfect. Just make progress towards choices that serve your body rather than sabotage it. You've probably been told your fatigue is just stress. You may have been dismissed, minimized, and sent home by a doctor with a message that nothing is really wrong. But what if it's not in your head? What if there really is a fire inside your cells? One that can be measured, understood, and more importantly, extinguished. You're not broken, you're inflamed. And inflammation can be calmed with the right approach, the right testing, and the right support. So now conventional testing, which we're all familiar with, this is the basic blood work. It shows your normal results. You're told nothing is wrong despite ongoing symptoms. When we bring together good functional testing and we get those advanced inflammatory markers, a gut microbiome analysis, food sensitivity panels, it begins to reveal those hidden triggers. And then it allows us to create a targeted protocol of personalized nutrition, targeted supplementation, lifestyle modifications, all that are going to address the root causes. And then most importantly, this is going to allow us to restore that vitality. Your energy is going to return, brain fog is going to lift, those inflammatory markers normalize, and you begin to feel like yourself again. So what's the path forward? Well, understanding chronic inflammation is just the beginning. The real transformation happens when you take action, when you move from awareness to implementation, from knowledge to healing. Number one, recognize your symptoms are real, valid, and deserve investigation beyond surface level testing. Work with practitioners who understand functional medicine and can identify those hidden inflammatory triggers. Begin to apply targeted nutrition, lifestyle, and supplementation protocols designed for your unique situation. And then create daily practices to keep inflammation low and energy high for the long term. So if today's message resonated with you, imagine what's possible when you go deeper. Consider our paid membership programs, which offer advanced inflammatory testing. It's going to reveal what those conventional labs miss. Personalized nutrition protocols that are designed for your unique biochemistry. We provide a supportive community of others on that same journey towards healing. And then lastly, expert guidance to help you extinguish hidden fires and rebuild vitality. You don't have to live under siege. You can reclaim that peace inside your body, and you can wake up with energy, think with clarity, and move through life with the resilience you deserve.